The sky is opening a door tomorrow. A moment when the sun and earth align in a rare dance, a doorway known as the solar eclipse and equinox portal. This is not just an astronomical event. It is a call from the universe, a subtle invitation to shift, to awaken, to step into a deeper rhythm of life. For those who are awake, this is a chance to feel the pulse of energy moving through every part of being, body, mind, and spirit. In Shaolin, we have always watched the skies as teachers. Monks attune themselves to the cycles of nature, using these moments for meditation, reflection, and inner refinement. Just as the rivers carve valleys slowly, these celestial alignments carve the pathways of transformation inside us. Energy becomes dense, sensations sharpen, and the mind grows quiet when observed carefully. There is a hidden order in these moments, a guidance for those ready to see it. In this video, you will uncover 8 crucial insights to navigate this portal with awareness. You will learn how to release what no longer serves you, align your energy with the flow of the cosmos, and awaken the observer within. You will discover practices that are rarely spoken of, subtle ways to harmonize with the unseen currents of life, and the inner steps that can turn external chaos into clarity. By the end, you will understand how to move with the portal rather than resist it, transforming potential turbulence into strength. I invite you to join me on this journey of presence and mastery. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. Subscribe now and step into the calm awareness that allows the universe to speak through every moment. This is your invitation to align, to awaken, and to move with the hidden energies that are waiting for you tomorrow. A quiet tremor moves through the air, felt only by those who are listening. Thoughts ripple faster than usual, emotions swell like tides against the shore, and intuition whispers with unusual clarity. During this portal, the energy of the cosmos bends closer to the earth, brushing against the edges of your mind and heart. It can feel unsettling at first, as if everything inside you is shifting, reshaping, or demanding attention. Yet this is not a time to resist. This is a time to witness. Sit with yourself as if you are a tree rooted deep in the earth. Let each sensation rise and fall without judgment. Do not push away discomfort, nor cling to pleasure. Watch the mind like a river flows past, sometimes swift, sometimes calm, but always moving. Each emotion, each thought is a messenger. Some carry echoes of the past, some point toward choices you have not yet seen, and some reveal the quiet truth of who you are beneath the layers. Breathe with intention. Inhale the energy that stirs within you. Let it fill every corner of your awareness. Exhale and release the tension that clouds clarity. The portal magnifies sensitivity. Even a small ripple of insight can feel like a wave. Do not try to capture it. Do not chase it. Let it surface naturally, like sunlight breaking through clouds. Shaolin teaches that mastery begins with observation. Before action, before judgment, there must be stillness. By simply observing your inner landscape, you allow the subtle currents of energy to guide you. Over time, these currents reveal patterns, illuminate truths, and open doors that logic alone cannot unlock. In this heightened state, your intuition becomes a teacher, your emotions a compass, and your thoughts the quiet maps of deeper understanding. Every moment during this portal is an opportunity. Each sensation carries meaning. All you need is the patience to notice, the courage to feel, and the clarity to watch without interference. There comes a moment when the weight of what we carry becomes visible. Old habits, fears, attachments that once felt like protection now feel heavy, pressing against the rhythm of life. The eclipse opens a subtle doorway, a pause in the ordinary flow, where the mind can see clearly what has outlived its purpose. Energy shifts, and what was hidden begins to surface. This is not a time for force or struggle, it is a time for gentle release. In the halls of ancient Shaolin practice, purification was never a sudden act. It was a disciplined rhythm, a careful shedding of what clouds clarity. Monks observed the body and mind with patience, noticing tension, desires, and repetitive patterns. Through breath, movement, and reflection, they learned to let go, to empty the mind of clutter without attachment to the loss. Each act of release was intentional, each moment a choice to free the spirit. The eclipse energy mirrors this process. It heightens awareness, illuminating the shadows of the mind with unusual clarity. A habit that once felt unavoidable, a fear that seemed permanent, a thought that clung too tightly. These now appear as invitations to step beyond them. The discipline is in noticing, in acknowledging, and in letting them drift away without resistance. Release is an act of mastery. It requires honesty with oneself and the courage to face discomfort without judgment. The body may resist, the mind may protest, yet each step toward letting go strengthens the center, clears the vision, and deepens awareness. The ancient way teaches that purification is never about adding more, but about removing what no longer serves. In this quiet surrender, energy moves freely, insight arises, and the mind becomes a vessel ready to receive what is new, vital, and aligned with the deeper currents of life. The eclipse offers the perfect mirror for this practice, a moment where intentional release transforms weight into lightness and discipline becomes freedom. A shadow moves across the sun, and suddenly the world feels slightly unbalanced. Even within, currents of restlessness rise. Thoughts tangle, emotions stir, and the heart can feel heavier than usual. The eclipse does not create chaos. It simply illuminates what has been quietly present. Turbulence arises not to frighten, but to teach. It is a signal, a reminder that clarity is earned through stillness, not through reaction. In the ancient Shaolin tradition, stillness was not passivity. It was a disciplined practice, a tool to observe the mind as it sways like bamboo in the wind. Monks would sit, motionless, yet attentive, letting each thought, each sensation pass without interference. In this quiet watching, the mind becomes a mirror, reflecting truth without distortion, seeing the patterns hidden beneath habitual noise. During the eclipse, one can cultivate this same stillness. Begin with the breath, inhale slowly, drawing energy inward. Let it fill the chest, the belly, the spaces between tension and thought. Exhale fully, releasing the grip of distraction, allowing turbulence to settle. Each breath becomes an anchor, a rhythm to stabilize the inner world against the pull of external shifts. Even a few minutes of this mindful presence changes the landscape of the mind. Awareness sharpens, clarity emerges, and insight begins to surface naturally. The eclipse energy, otherwise intense and overwhelming, transforms into a guide, a teacher showing that calm is not the absence of movement, but the mastery of response. Discipline in stillness cultivates freedom. By practicing this quiet focus during the portal, the mind learns to navigate waves of emotion and thought with balance. What once felt like chaos becomes a map. Turbulence is no longer a threat, but a teacher, and stillness becomes the doorway to inner mastery, revealing the deeper currents that shape both mind and life. A single thought, a single choice, holds more weight than we often perceive. During portal days, the universe listens with unusual attentiveness. What you focus on now is like a seed dropped into fertile soil. It may appear small, but it carries the potential to grow for months ahead. Energy responds not to wishful thinking, but to conscious alignment. The mind tuned with purpose becomes a force that shapes reality quietly, subtly, yet profoundly. In the Shaolin way, every action begins with awareness. Before a movement is made, before a word is spoken, before a breath is drawn, there is attention. Discipline is not only physical, it is the cultivation of deliberate presence. Monks train the mind to accompany the body, to act from clarity rather than impulse. Portal days amplify this principle. The intensity of energy makes each thought, each intention, more potent. What is unattended can take root as distraction, while what is observed and directed grows into insight, strength, and alignment. To work with this energy, one must slow the inner chatter and notice where focus naturally lands. Observe the desires, fears, and aspirations that rise. Choose the ones aligned with wisdom, compassion, and clarity. Give them space to breathe. Let intention be deliberate, like water flowing along a carefully carved path rather than flooding indiscriminately. Even small acts, become amplified. A kind word, a disciplined habit, a quiet moment of reflection. These are not minor gestures. They are currents in a larger river, shaping direction and depth. Through awareness and conscious purpose, the mind learns to navigate energy rather than be swept away by it. In this sacred rhythm, intention is no longer wishful thinking. It becomes a living practice, a subtle mastery of self. The portal offers opportunity, but the choice to cultivate it rests in the clarity, attention, and discipline brought to each passing moment. A mind that chases its own thoughts is like a horse galloping without reins. Emotions surge, ideas collide, and clarity slips away. Yet there is a way to move through the mind storms without being swept aside. The practice of witnessing. To watch thoughts and emotions as an impartial observer is not to deny them nor to suppress them. It is to see them clearly, as clouds passing across the vast sky of awareness. In the Shaolin tradition, this skill is cultivated slowly, patiently, through discipline and reflection. Monks learn to sit with what arises, neither clinging nor resisting. Anger appears, observe it. Desire surfaces, notice it. Fear comes, acknowledge it. Each arises, each passes. By holding nothing too tightly and pushing nothing away, the mind begins to reveal its patterns without distortion. Detachment is subtle. It is not indifference. It is not stepping out of life. It is full engagement, paired with clarity. When you witness without attachment, you see truth in its natural form. A thought is just a thought. An emotion is just a wave. Neither defines you. Neither controls the direction of your inner river. This practice strengthens mastery of self. Awareness becomes precise. Decisions are no longer reactions but reflections of clarity. Turbulence in the mind becomes a teacher, not a tyrant. The subtle currents of intuition and insight become easier to recognize because they are no longer drowned by impulse or fear. Over time, the act of witnessing becomes a rhythm of life. Each moment becomes a mirror, each sensation a guide. Through impartial observation, the mind learns to navigate complexity with calm, the heart learns to hold balance amidst intensity, and the spirit grows resilient, rooted in the quiet strength of clear perception. The body carries energy like a river flows through a valley, sometimes smooth, sometimes obstructed. During the portal, these currents can become turbulent, stirring restlessness, tension, or unease. Simple movement and conscious breathing offer a bridge between the unseen forces in the air and the grounded strength within. They are not mere exercises. They are ancient practices designed to harmonize the body, mind, and spirit. In Shaolin tradition, motion is medicine, and breath is the guide. A slow, deliberate stretch, a controlled stance, a measured step, each action channels energy, aligning it with the rhythm of life. Conscious breathing, coordinated with movement, cultivates a sense of presence, turning each inhale into clarity, each exhale into release. The body, often burdened by thought and habit, begins to feel lighter, more fluid, more capable of receiving subtle energies. Even a few minutes of focused practice can shift the inner landscape. Muscles relax, the mind sharpens, and awareness spreads quietly through every fiber of being. The portal amplifies this effect. Energy that might feel overwhelming or scattered can be grounded, focused, and transformed into insight and strength. Discipline is the key. Shaolin masters do not move blindly. Every gesture is intentional, every breath deliberate. The practice is not about intensity but precision. It teaches patience, teaches attention, teaches the ability to navigate both internal and external currents with calm determination. Through these movements, the body becomes a vessel, the mind a mirror, and the spirit a channel. Energy circulates freely, preparing the self for transformation. What begins as a simple practice ripples outward, shaping clarity, resilience, and alignment. In this quiet, deliberate rhythm, the portal becomes not a force to endure, but a teacher guiding the mind and body toward harmony, readiness, and awakening. The mind often rushes from one moment to the next, carrying fragments of experience without pause. Yet, true mastery asks for something different, a quiet reflection on what has passed. Successes and failures alike are not merely events. They are teachers, each carrying subtle lessons for those who pause to listen. During the portal, this reflection is amplified. Insights that were hidden or overlooked may now surface, revealing patterns and truths that guide the next step. In Shaolin practice, reflection is disciplined, intentional, and unhurried. Monks do not only act, they observe the effects of their actions on body, mind, and spirit. They ask, what did this teach me? How did I respond under pressure? What was influenced by ego, and what arose from clarity? By integrating lessons deeply, the mind grows sharper, the heart steadier, and the spirit more resilient. Action alone is incomplete. Understanding transforms movement into wisdom. Begin by revisiting recent moments without judgment. Celebrate achievements, noting the effort, focus, and presence that made them possible. Examine failures with honesty, tracing where choices or attachments led to friction or suffering. Each insight, each realization becomes a seed of discipline and growth. The mind, when trained to observe and integrate, begins to move with subtlety, choosing paths aligned with both awareness and intention. Reflection is also an act of alignment. It connects past experience to present awareness and future action. The portal heightens sensitivity, revealing connections that were previously unseen. Patterns of thought, cycles of behavior, and impulses that once seemed random now show their structure. In this clarity, mastery is revealed not as control, but as understanding. The discipline of reflection turns life into a continuous teacher, and each lesson, when fully absorbed, strengthens the ability to move through the world with calm wisdom and grounded purpose. Amid the quiet of the portal, clarity can emerge like sunlight through a narrow opening. It illuminates a single path, a point of focus where bold action is needed. Not all challenges require movement, but some moments demand presence, courage, and discipline. The energy of the portal favors these decisive steps, amplifying intention and aligning effort with the currents of life. In the Shaolin way, action is never impulsive. Discipline guides the hand, and insight directs the mind. Before a movement is made, the practitioner considers purpose, timing, and alignment. The same principle applies within life. Recognize where hesitation hides opportunity, where fear has slowed progress, and where decisive focus can create transformation. The portal acts as a magnifier, revealing these areas with unusual clarity. Begin by observing quietly. Notice which part of your life stirs unease, frustration, or tension. These often mark the places that require courage. With awareness, discern the next step that is both deliberate and aligned with wisdom. It is not about rushing or forcing outcomes, but about moving with precision, guided by understanding rather than impulse. Even a small disciplined act can create a ripple of change far beyond what is immediately visible. Bold action during the portal is a dialogue with energy itself. It tests presence, patience, and inner strength. By responding with clarity, the mind becomes steady, the heart resolute, and the body attuned. The discipline of action turns potential into reality, insight into transformation. Through this alignment, life begins to flow more smoothly. Obstacles become teachers, challenges become gateways, and the steps taken in conscious awareness carry more weight than any reaction made in haste. The portal is not merely a moment to observe, it is a call to move with intention, courage, and mastery, letting insight guide each deliberate choice. Look closely at the rhythms of the sky, the rise and fall of the sun, the silent turning of planets, and the slow arc of seasons. These are not distant events. They are mirrors of the currents that flow within us. Personal energy, thoughts, and intentions do not exist in isolation. They ripple outward, interacting with forces far greater than the self. To recognize this interconnection is to step into a wider awareness, one that transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for alignment. In Shaolin practice, harmony with natural law is a foundation of mastery. Monks observe cycles of nature, aligning their training, meditation, and daily routines with the movements of the earth and sky. Discipline is woven with awareness. When the body, mind, and energy move in rhythm with the natural world, strength becomes effortless, insight deepens, and clarity unfolds without struggle. Resistance to this flow brings tension, alignment brings ease. During the portal, the connection between personal energy and universal cycles is more tangible. Sensitivity is heightened. The currents of life are amplified. When one tunes attention inward while acknowledging the forces around, resilience grows. Challenges that once felt overwhelming appear as lessons, and the mind finds space to respond with wisdom rather than reaction. Alignment is subtle but transformative. It begins with observation, listening to the body, noticing thought patterns, sensing shifts in mood. Then comes adjustment, a gentle attunement of energy, intention, and action to the natural rhythm. Over time, this practice cultivates inner peace that is not fragile or fleeting, but steady, rooted in the understanding of one's place within a greater whole. The universe is not outside. It flows through every breath, every heartbeat, every thought. By acknowledging this connection, the mind and spirit learn to move in harmony with life itself. Strength, clarity, and wisdom arise naturally when discipline meets alignment, and the portal becomes not just a moment in time, but a gateway into lasting mastery. The portal that opens tomorrow is not a promise, it is an invitation. Its energy flows, waiting for those who are ready to move with awareness. The true power lies in conscious participation, in choosing to meet each moment with stillness, observation, and deliberate action. By releasing what no longer serves, focusing intentions with clarity, and moving with disciplined purpose, you can navigate this energy without being swept away. The eclipse and equinox are guides, but the steps you take, the choices you make, and the awareness you cultivate determine the transformation that unfolds. What the stars reveal is only a doorway. It is your mind and heart that must step through. Each moment of mindfulness, each breath of awareness, each act of courage brings the teachings of this portal into daily life, turning insight into mastery and potential into reality. Carry this calm, this presence into your day. Let it guide small choices as much as large, and allow the rhythm of the universe to harmonize with your inner rhythm. Transformation begins quietly with attention, patience, and clarity. If this message resonates, if these teachings guide your path even slightly, like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire. Step into awareness, move with intention, and let the energy of this portal deepen your strength, wisdom, and peace.